Why are you guys talking about this annihilation nonsense? Like, मैंने तो सुना भी नहीं इसके बारे में. Oh, didn't see you there. When you came, I was just, making notes on this movie I saw last night called Annihilation. It's directed by the guy who made Ex Machina, which was this surprise hit sci-fi movie. And it had that woman, Alicia, in it, Seven Weekender. She was good. She was good. It's based on a novel by a guy named Jeff Van Der Meer. And you're like, why are you guys talking about this annihilation nonsense? Like, मैंने तो सुना भी नहीं इसके बारे में. Correct. तो मैं बता रही हूँ ताकि तुम सुनो. Because Annihilation has been released on Netflix about like 17 days after its worldwide release. And by worldwide, I mean what Hollywood thinks is the world, which is US, UK, and for some reason, China.
China.
Annihilation is a part of a trilogy, of course. Can you even write? If you write just one fantasy book, literally Sauron rises from the depths of Mordor and like eats you or something. So you have to write a trilogy. Annihilation is part of a trilogy called Annihilation. The second book is called Authority, and the third book is called Alliteration. No, it's not. It's called Acceptance. Annihilation, the book, and Annihilation, the movie, both have this very fun science fiction, ooh, can this be dystopia, ooh, what's going to happen kind of plot. There's an area in the United States, of course, where it's called Area X, where a few years ago there was an explosion, kind of, and it's led to this biological, ecological effect called the shimmer, which kind of looks like an oil spill. What it does is it changes everything within its perimeter. And here's the cincher, right? It's expanding. So potentially one day the whole world could be under this shimmer. I think that basic theme is the same in both book and movie. But like every book, like every movie that's based on a book, the director has changed a few things. Quite a few things, actually. I don't know why they say based on the novel by Jeff Van Der Meer. They should say sort of like the novel by Jeff Van Der Meer. Kind of like it little bit, but we've taken some liberties. Like be honest, guys, when you're writing credits. Anyway, differences between the book and the movie. In the movie, all the characters have names. I mean, you're like, what are you saying, Anuya? In the book, also characters have names. Not in this one. In this one, the lead character is a biologist. That's all we know. She's a biologist. She does biologist-y thingies, like, oh, what's this? Oh, swab. Oh, I'll look at it. Stuff like that. That's what biologists do. I know these things. I know everything. So in the book and the movie, her husband goes into, joins an expedition to Area X, and he returns not quite himself. So she knows that he's gone, and he's come back a bit broken, and then she wants to go anyway. I do not understand these people. These people are the ones who die first in horror movies. Speaking of horror movies, the book is fucking scary. I shat buckets while reading it. Literally, like buckets. Like right now, I have a bucket in my bathroom that I shat. The movie is also scary, don't get me wrong. But not as scary as the book. In the book, there's very little world building. You just are introduced to the biologist and the fact and Area X a little bit and whatever species you see. And they don't really bother spoon feeding to you what happened. You have to sort of like piece it together without much context. In the movie, they take care of that. They turn an unlikable protagonist into a likable one by changing the motivations. And also they kind of sort of tell you what's happening, how it happened, what can or might happen, and they sort of like help you along, which is much nicer. The movie itself is visually just stunning. I mean, there are body parts of people, but they make it look like a freaking work of art. Like, that is amazing. It's a great visual spectacle, the movie. Both Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac, who plays her husband, are amazing. The cast is stellar. It has Gina Jane the Virgin Rodriguez. She is my favorite TV person. She's playing like a psycho-esque woman on this, which I love even more. But it has flaws. What are the flaws? So many flaws. There have been 3 years where people have been going into Area X to find out what's happening and not returning. And the first person who comes back is her husband, right? if they're not returning? Why are you sending people in groups of 4 with like 1 gun per person, buddy? Like, send in an army, send in a tank, give Natalie Portman something, weapons, guns, bombs. Give her bangs, guys. No, seriously, give her bangs. Because she's got this like really like severe face thing happening. Like, bangs will like soften her up a little bit. I felt like the movie went a little too indie, you know, too abstract. You never go full abstract, you know, Jeff Wanderlust. That's not what you do. It's like calm a little bit and like tell people it's nice, it's pretty and all to look at. पर Black Panther में कैसा सब बताता है देख ये इसका भाई है, वो उसकी माँ है. वैसा थोड़ा explain कर देता तो अच्छा हो जाता है, you know, Jeff वरण बात. So would I read the book and would I watch the movie? I would, and I would recommend it. Because in today's day and age where every sci-fi dystopian fiction fantasy is underdog kid trying to save the world with ragtag team of people who die one by one and love story, Annihilation is actually quite the breath of fresh air despite all of its mind-bending, radiation, crap, whatever is going on. It's very different and it kind of forces you to think about things that you weren't really thinking about. Like cells and the effect of mutation on cells. And what if aliens didn't just show up in a giant spaceship, but landed in a tiny little bomb blast thingy somewhere in the world and slowly started changing the world itself instead of destroying it or taking over. I find that a very novel and fun and cool and interesting concept, and I think you will too. So watch the movie for sure. Show Netflix that, you know, even though they spent whatever 20-30 million buying it, it was not a bad decision. We love you, Netflix. Also, you should watch Books on Toast, Netflix people. But anyway, show them that buying that movie was sort of worth their time. And also read the books, because it is always good to read books, right? Especially this guy, this Jeff Vanity Van fellow. I think he's really good.